Elected officials, please be on your best behavior at all times. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Boebert, the House rep from Colorado, who was kicked out of a live Beetlejuice performance because she caused a disturbance. She was vaping, singing, recording videos of the performance, and doing some other stuff that is a little bit inappropriate. Pee Wee Herman movie theater levels inappropriate. And we'll get to all that in just 1 minute. But first things first, if you are a regular normie just out there working the job, this wouldn't really be a big deal. I'm not saying it's right, but it wouldn't be that big of a deal. However, if you are an elected official in the U.S. House, you might want to be in best behavior. You might not want to be in a movie theater at 40, 50 years old, vaping, blowing the smoke on people, doing some inappropriate activities with some other person. You might not want to do that if you are an elected official and you have high visibility. Everyone knows who you are. Everyone's going to have a camera on you. Everyone's waiting for that moment for you to slip up so they can say, hey, look at this. Isn't that you right there in the theater doing X, Y, and Z with X, Y, and Z? Now, before we go too far into it, we have an article. We're not going to read through the entire thing. There's also videos. If you guys want to see the inappropriate video like you nasty boys want to do, I will link to that in the box. I can't play it right here on the YouTubes because obviously it's inappropriate. It's not quite that inappropriate, but I don't want to risk it. Now, you see what's going on. She apologized for all this. You see the headline, Boebert apologizes for vaping and disrupting Beetlejuice musical. Because some were saying, hey, ABL, is that video verified? Do we know if that's real? Is it artificial intelligence? Is it a deep fake? It's real, and she apologized. You see the headline. That's her right there. Okay. Now, to be clear, she is married and has, I think, 3 or 4 children, but she's currently separated after about 20 years of marriage, and she went to the play with some random man. I don't know if it's a boyfriend or what's going on, but the guy that she was there with is not her husband, and she is still married, although she's in the process of going through a divorce. Now, let's keep on going. So Representative Boebert from Colorado, Republican, apologized for vaping and being disruptive during a performance of the musical Beetlejuice at a city-owned theater in Denver in a statement released by her campaign team late on Friday. She expressed regret and said she was truly sorry for her actions at the theater from where she and an unidentified man were ejected Sunday. The pair had been reprimanded multiple times by staff for vaping, singing, and causing a disturbance to other patrons before being kicked out, according to an incident report shared by the city, as Boebert and the male companion are escorted out of the theater, as you can see right here in this animated looping GIF. Camera footage shows her rebuking the staff member and saying, "Do you know who I am? And I'll be contacting the mayor," according to the city's incident report. Now, that is dumb to do that. Do you know who I am? As a matter of fact, I do. And what's going to happen is we are going to release videos of you in the theater doing inappropriate things while you're still married, and we're going to prove our case. So don't threaten us. What you should do, as I said from the beginning, is be on your best behavior so this whole thing doesn't even blow up. Now, we have video right here of the vaping. And again, I'm not going to show the inappropriate video. I'll just give you a nice little screenshot so you can understand what's going on. Now, originally, she denied the vaping from what I'm able to read. But you can see right there that she was in the theater vaping. And some say, oh, it's a dark theater, ABL. Doesn't really matter. Obviously, at this moment, the theater was not dark. They are just, at this point, getting into the theater, getting ready for the show, and you can see what she's doing right here, okay? So maybe you don't want to be in the theater vaping. Maybe it's not the best thing to do. I'm not sure what's in the vape. Do we have just regular tobacco, or is that wacky tobacco, if you understand, if you catch my drift? I'm not sure, but I digress. Now, that might have been the warning right there. Hey, you can't vape in the theater. Okay, cool. Then you pulling out your phones, allegedly. Hey, you can't pull out your phones. Okay, cool. Then you're singing, you're being too loud. Hey, you can't do that. And then comes the fornication. All right, maybe that's the wrong word to use. Oh, you can't say fornicate. That's a religious word. You understand? You guys know exactly what I mean. Now, this video, again, I can't play it, but it will be in the box for you nasty boys and girls that have to see it. A lot of you guys came here just for that video because you want to see her because she's hot or whatever, get rubbed on. Okay, that's fine. But this is a screenshot of the video. Now, this is when the theater is full of people and it's packed, and this is like infrared footage. So at this point, the theater is dark. So some are saying that's not really a big deal because it's in a dark theater. But again, you need to be on your best behavior if you are her, because you are not a normie. If you were just a rando, even if you were, in this case, Pee Wee Herman, we all know what Pee Wee Herman did back in the day. And I think what he did was not even as bad as this, because Pee Wee, I think he was in the actual kind of one of those theaters designed for that purpose. And if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. But man, you're at a Beetlejuice musical in a packed theater with kids and everything else around. Now, this guy was rubbing on her chest, and then she was rubbing in his crotch region. This is inappropriate for this setting. Again, I'm going to say it one more time to drive the point home. You are not a normie. You are not a regular person. You are an elected official. You cannot do things like this once you ascend to that level. If you want to risk it and do that as a commoner, I guess you would say, I got like myself. Like if I do this in the theater, it's not really a big deal because I'm nobody compared to an elected official. But once you are this, you do something like that, it'll be on the news, and it's going to affect you when it comes time for re-election. She barely won this past time. So, and you run, every 2 years in that house? This could make her actually lose the race. People, they're looking at your character. Okay, you're conservative, traditional values. You want to talk about drag queen story time being a bad thing and adults doing things they shouldn't be doing in front of kids. Meanwhile, here you are getting rubbed on by this strange man while you still married in the theater with families and everything else around. Okay, it's a dark theater, but you're right next to people in the actual audience. Make it make sense. Now, there's something else I want to just address momentarily as a rumor. This, obviously, we have video evidence and apology. And she got kicked out of the theater for doing this, for not just this, but other things. So we have evidence and proof here that this actually happened. But then there's also Kristi Noem. There's a rumor, and I've been reading about this. A lot of people who know about the so-called industry, the political industry, they're saying it's probably true. So again, another married conservative woman, she is allegedly having an affair with Corey Lewandowski, all right, a Trump advisor, and it's been going on for years, since like 2019, right? That is the governor of North Dakota, Kristi Noem, and Corey Lewandowski. That's them. Now, again, it's a rumor. It's not been 100% proven, but from what I'm reading, people are saying that it's true. Now, again, you're married, you're a governor. This could sink you. Some say in the age of Trump or in this year, 2023, things like this don't matter, but they do. Because a lot of people may not want to care about it. It's like, look, if you're doing a good job by your constituents, so what? You could be out here having affairs or whatever. I'll still vote for you. But people are not going to always agree with that. You got some religious people still, and they still believe in family values and marriage and everything else. And they see a thing like this and they're like, you know what? I'm not even really going to deal with it. Now, I think Miss Noem did respond, or she spoke about this a little bit. Now, I don't know when this actual video was recorded. I have no idea. It's uploaded yesterday, which was September the 15th, 2023, but I don't know when it was initially recorded. So this could have been in reference to something else. I don't know what's happening, but let's just watch this to see her response. Then I wrap it on up, put the bow clean on top, and RIP headphone users in advance.
And it was
Absolutely.
incredible because you're a sitting governor. You've had a long marriage. You married Brian in like right
30
after,
years ago.
yeah, 30 years ago. And I think you're my age. You're a year younger than I am. I'm 51. You're 50.
Yeah.
So you've been together with the same guy all this time. You have 3 wonderful children, like out of the blue. And this is, of course, they do this. I'm sorry to get on my female soapbox, but whenever there's a powerful woman, you can take it to the bank. There's going to be an attack on her, and they say it's either nuts or sluts. You're crazy or you're a slut. And they weren't able to say you were crazy, so they decided to go the other route. And it was incredible because you're a sitting governor.
Okay, so that's that. Again, I don't know what that's in reference to, but this was a video that was recorded at a certain point with Megyn Kelly speaking to North Dakota Governor Kristi Noem about allegations against her. But as I close, I want to say this. At a certain point, there is a moral, I guess you would say, imperative for elected officials at a certain point. And when people fall short morally, when they do things that aren't really right in the eyes of many, it's going to affect them when it comes to politics. This is why people love politicians, because a politician is going to appear to be doing the right things morally and by their constituents, even if not so. However, some things like going to a play, doing some inappropriate things in the theater, getting kicked out, I mean, that's just going to be a bad mark on you. You could go out there and say one thing, talk about certain things, but then when your personal actions don't match up, now we got a problem. And we're starting to see a pattern. We see it with Marjorie Taylor Greene. There's some rumors about her. We got Kristi Noem, Lauren Boebert, and the list goes on. Women that be married for 20, 30 years, have kids, a whole family, and throw it away for some random person. Why? You're going to throw your whole career away too. And you're going to damage your reputation of the party. Okay, you're a Republican. They support you. You're going to damage not just your own career, but also the career and reputations of those that supported you throughout the entire process. So I don't really understand the purpose of doing this. People got to stop. And I think at a certain point, we need people with better values in office, just maybe, because again, if the values don't match what you're talking about on the campaign trail, that's going to affect you. Lauren Boebert barely won. She'll probably lose the next time because of what you just saw on the screen. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your take on Lauren Boebert pulling the Pee Wee Herman in the movie theater? Is it a big deal? Not really a big deal. If you lived in Colorado, or if you do live there, are you going to vote for her again? Would you vote for her? Does she have your vote again? She barely won it last time. How about next time? Is it going to be the same thing? Is she going to have a wider margin of victory? What's going to happen? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. We got to just stop doing stuff like this at a certain point. You know, you got to be in your best behavior, especially when you're in a vulnerable situation. All right, we could talk about what the left does. We know they're degenerate and disgusting, but we can't do the same thing they do. We can't stoop down to their level and say, hey, look at them. What about, no. You be the moral leader. You be the good person and let them figure things out on their own. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.